The biggest ecological problems that our society faces is obviously climate breakdown and biodiversity loss, but also our attitude towards it. I think we tend to isolate these things, we partition them, and we imagine they're too big for us to influence. Well, the first thing is that they're not partitioned, they are intrinsically linked together. So biodiversity loss, the largest driver of that across the world is agriculture. It's producing the food that we eat. So that's impacting negatively on our climate, which is impacting negatively on how we produce the food that we eat. And there is a very vicious circle there. So the way that we treat our seas, the way that we treat our atmosphere, the whole biosphere is all linked together. And I think that we need to bring that home to people, to recognise that every day when they get up in the morning and they put something in their mouth, they're having an impact on the environment. It could be a positive one or it could be a negative one. And I think when it comes to asking them to address those issues, we've got to reframe the argument. At the moment we're saying, hold on, there's a problem. I think it would be easier to motivate people if we said, hold on, here's an opportunity. By changing what you eat, changing the way you live, you can actually be part of a solution and move away from that problem. Are those problems unsurmountable? No, they're not. We have a toolkit of technologies, means and endeavours that we could put into place to make immediate differences. I'm not saying the world's not going to change. The world is going to change. That's a foregone conclusion now. And we will have to learn to adapt to live in a new world. But that could be a better world if we acted more promptly and more broadly to address those very dangerous, threatening issues. I'm afraid it's all too easy to think, I can't do anything about these problems. They're too large, existential, insurmountable. I'm just a drop in an ocean. But what is an ocean but a multitude of drops? Collectively, we can make an enormous difference, and we could do so very rapidly. How do we start that process? Well, I think we start that at the personal level. It's about personal empowerment. It's about knowing that you are capable of making decisions, changing your mind to get positive outcomes. So take yourself back to the kitchen, if you like, and there you're recycling and you're putting glass in one and paper and plastic in another. That's not going to save the world. In fact, what you've done is made yourself supplicatory to those industries which are causing the problem, and you're allowing them to transfer the issue of dealing with it to you. But nevertheless, you're still doing the right thing. And that makes us feel good. We like to feel good. We are doing something positive. We then need to move that out of the room. And we then need to confront those industries that are trying to place the problem on our shoulders and say to them, hold on for a moment. If you didn't produce so much plastic, if we didn't have so much waste in the first place, I wouldn't need to be doing this. It's your problem, you sort it out. And that means that collectively, peacefully and democratically, we need to come together to address our decision makers, those people we've elected to represent us and look after our future security. And at the moment, we're not doing that. We're allowing them, globally I should add, to run roughshod over all of the things that the science tells us we need to do and need to do it now. And I think that one of the other things we need to do, and this is important, is to ask them to listen to the scientists. You can't, make decisions on best informed advice if you're not even hearing the advice. And where is the advice coming from? Where should it be coming from? Those at the forefront of uncovering the root causes of our problems, and those are the scientists. So scientists need to speak up as well. I think in the past there was always a thought that, you did your work, you published it in a paper, someone else, perhaps a science communicator like myself, would find it and then tell people about it. We've run out of time. If you're a scientist and you've hit upon something, or you have grave concerns about your field of work, you need to stand up alongside everyone else and make those demands essentially of our governments before it's too late. I think it's really important to understand evolution because it provides us with context. Now, there is a temptation to think that we are the be-all and end-all of evolution, and furthermore, we are an animal, and there are all of those other animals over there. What evolution and the understanding of it gives us is the fact that that isn't the case. Evolution is continuing apace. We just happen to be looking at it at this snapshot at this point in time. Furthermore, we are an animal amongst a community of many others at this point on the planet. And that community is only ever going to survive if all of the complex links between it, everything that links us to those ecosystems of which we are a part, are functional. And at the moment, we're making them unfunctional. We're taking away that resilience. So we need to think of ourselves as not above nature, but very much part of nature. And if we could engender that respect, as it were, that knowledge with a greater immediate fortitude, we'd be in a better place. And we can do that on a day-to-day basis, just thinking about the way that we impact on nature. The most obvious thing is what we eat. Every time you put something in your mouth, it's come from Ecosystem Services Earth. It's grown out of soil somewhere. It's been harvested from the sea. It's not been magicked out of the spatial ether. And it comes with an environmental cost. And by making decisions in a supermarket aisle, you can minimise that environmental cost, and therefore you can ameliorate the damage that we are doing to the natural environment, our planet, our one and only home, the place that we have to nurture so that we can live happily and harmoniously in the future.